welcome to the stream. So obviously we've got another round of team tours coming up. Couple of new teams in this week that we didn't have in our lobby last week. And we're at the Death Chicane, so should be an exciting one. Hey Nick, nice to see you, mate. Just make sure we've got the correct keyboard in front of us this week. Hey Sonic, nice to see you, mate. So let's just run through what teams we have. So we have Deering's team, which is culturally inappropriate. They were in our lobby last week, so that's TCR Richie, Deering and Kaza in that team. Currently second after the first round. So off to a good start, those guys. We'll be hoping to do the same again this week. Then we have Ost's team, which is the Three Stooges, Taha, Ost and Up, who we didn't have last week. And I believe there was someone stepping in for their team, so see what cars they're in. So Ost is in the McLaren. Puppies in, and then I think it's Roses, possibly, that's stepping in for their team. Yes, Roses in the NSX, and where's Pup gone? Oh, there he is. Must have just gone out to the pit. So Pup in the Aston Martin then. Hey Chris, nice to see you, mate. And then who else do we have? We have Jaeger's team, whose we did have in last week. They Jaeger bombs all round. So that's Jaeger, Gaz and Clarkey. So we obviously had those guys in last week. Clarkey finding out that BMW is not quite up to pace anymore in the Group 4, unfortunately. But we'll see how well he goes tonight, because there could be a lot of accidents. Good, thanks, Chris. How about yourself? Who else do we have? So Tonic. Who's Tonic? Our Tonic is in TXM Iron Dames with DTR cars and Poop Down. So we didn't have these in, but we've seen these guys driving other seasons as well. But they weren't in the lobby this week. Currently third after the first round. So these guys will be hoping for another good round here. See how everybody manages to survive the death chicane will be obviously the main thing. Then we have Matt Jam's team, which did we have? I don't think we had Matt Jam's team last week. So Smash Bros Incorporated. So that's Governor, Matt Jam and Ant Smasher. A lovely livery on that Lambo. Ant Smasher there in the McLaren, that is. And who else did we say? Governor in that team in the Ferrari. So a team with 3 different cars there. Always nice to see. And I believe that is all the teams. So we do have 3 new teams this week that we didn't have last week. So that's good, means we will have seen most of the teams now. I think there'll just be one more team that hopefully will end up in Lobby 1 next week for us to watch that we haven't seen yet. And that is the Pleb Gents, who are in P1 at the moment. So they're the only team that we haven't had in Lobby 1 in the first 2 rounds. So hopefully we'll get to see them in round 3, as they are currently leading the way as well. So qualifying should be getting underway at 8 o'clock. So we have about 7 more minutes of practice before we'll be getting quali underway. For those that don't know the format, it is a qualifying for the sprint race, and then it is a reverse grid, reverse track second race for the longer feature race. So they will be doing the death chicane in both directions, but we'll be having to take it more the wrong way or the right way, depending on which way you prefer this track. Because obviously we'll be running normal way round first, followed by the reverse layout for the longer race. Also, we currently have Kaza and Tonic, who we see 1 and 2 in practice at the moment, are the 2 joint leaders after round 1. So maybe we could be seeing an interesting battle between those 2 tonight. And then we also have Matt Jam and Ost, level on points, and those guys are obviously both in this lobby tonight, 6th and 7th level on points. So maybe an interesting race for those boys as well. Same situation with Jaeger and Richie for 10th and 11th, with Clarkey 1 point behind them. So I think we could be seeing some good battles throughout the field here. And obviously, first race has no tyre wear, no fuel, just a 15-minute sprint. And race 2 requires mediums for a minimum of 5 laps. But most will probably just run us. Looking at how fuel and tyre wear was last week, it's looking like we will just have a one-stopper for pretty much everybody. But you never know, occasionally at certain tracks people will look to try something a bit different. But my prediction will be one-stoppers for everybody. As I said, just about 5 minutes left to go before we get into some practice then. So let's see who's coming up towards. Governor is coming up towards the Death Chicane, so we'll go on board in the passenger seat with Governor there for the ride through the Death Chicane. There we go, out close to the wall, you big lift there. Maybe just sensing out what he can do through there. Go on board with DTR cars now as he just starts a lap in that Nissan Silvia. Using a lot of the curb there and then getting a bit squivelly on exit, but holds it well. Hopefully the lag isn't too bad tonight, and I know it's got a little bit worse again recently, unfortunately. Hey Ray. Hey transmission. So we'll see what DTR can do, which is probably his final practice lap here. He might get one more in after this, just before quali starts. Looks like that car rides the curbs pretty well, because he has gone over the curbs quite a lot here. So that could be one to watch out for. Might be a bit better through the Death Chicane than other cars if it's good over curbs. Oh, but he does hit the wall on the exit there. Hey Ant, good luck tonight, mate. Pull up, let a few cars by before he starts another flyer there. See who's that about to come through the Death Chicane. Oh no, too late, it was Clarkey. But Deering now then, so let's go on a run in with that McLaren through the Death Chicane here. Into the wall, a lot more lifting than I would have been expecting here, but clearly needed because a lot of people hitting that wall, and it is only 5 minutes for qualifying, so obviously you need to get your laps in straight away. You can't afford to be messing laps up. Hey DTR, good luck tonight, mate. So transmission is crazy. So we know who transmission will be cheering on then. Crazy Birch, unfortunately, not able to race this season. as it looks like we are about to get qualifying underway now then. As a DTR, not a fan of this track. I actually really like this track, but I understand why a lot of people don't. That chicane is the main reason. So here we go then, qualifying just about to get underway. See if Jaeger gets Kingy as his usual first out lobby host privileges. Where is Jaeger? Yes, he does. So Jaeger can be our Kingy as we will go for an onboard lap with Jaeger. So Jaeger can be the one to set the pace unless he chooses to let anyone by. So here we go, let's see how Jaeger does. I wonder if he knows about our usual taking the first person out the pits to do an onboard with. If he does, he may choose to let someone by so that he's not on stream for his lap. But he might be confident enough to not get the commentator's curse. Oh, yeah, it definitely is a fun track, especially if you can nail the chicane, but that's the main point, is being able to nail the chicane. And I said here, people are not going to want to hang about too much, because you should be able to get 2 laps in on this track, but if you have a big issue on your first lap, that's going to make it hard to get that second lap in. But everybody should get 2 laps, I imagine. So here we go, round in the final corner now. So Jaeger going to take us across the line to start the first flying lap here. With his very, very green roll cage in this car. Makes it look like he's got neon lights on the inside or something, it's that bright. Brake it just before that curb for turn 1 then. Trying to get it hooked into either of these curbs if you can, help pull you around. Very tentative on exit, but gets a good exit in the end. Now, will he keep it flat round here? It should be. Slight lift. And then into the braking zone. Very important to get on the power as soon as you can. So early upshift there to stop the rear coming round on exit. And now try and dab the brakes and turn it in and keep it in as much as you can. So you can go flat out for as long as possible. You don't want to have to lift after that first left. And Jaeger doing a very good job of that there. So now we're coming up to the crucial part of the track now. Braking between that 100 and 150 for the hairpin. Getting back on the power as soon as possible. Good exit there from Jaeger here. And now's the important part. Can he get through the chicane? Will he lift? Will he take it flat? Let's see. No, big lift. Huge lift there from Jaeger. And still a tap on the wall, so not too confident there. Jaeger on his first lap. Maybe just trying to make sure he gets a banker lap in so he can go full send on the second lap. Trying to get it round. Not quite getting into that apex though. So definitely time on the table for Jaeger to improve here. But he is obviously the first one that's going to bring us across the line, followed by DTR cars then, and then Richie. And then Oss, Richie up to second, Ost up to pole. What about Clarky now? Then Clarky goes pole, Tonic goes second. Pup moving up the order. Roses, Governor with a poor lap there. What can Ant do? No. And Poop struggling as well. So maybe a few issues for these guys at the back, got caught up together maybe, as they all seem to have set fairly poor times. Then the back two, Kaza up to 4th and Deering up into provisional pole position now then. So Jaeger with a big gap. The biggest problem for these guys here is those at the back have not got clear air. They're all in each other's way where there was clearly an issue. So that might be it for the likes of Deering and Kaza. They might have already had the laps ruined, as Matt Jam needs to get a representable lap in, or he will be starting at the back here. So let's see people coming through the chicane now then. What about Jaeger? Can he take it a bit more full send this time? Yes, much less of a lift that time. And doesn't hit the wall, so this should be an improvement from Jaeger. But who else have we got coming up? Ost now then. So Ost with a big lift, but Ost hits the wall big. Can he get out of everyone's way? And Clarkey gets through all right there. What about Pup? Yes, Pup through good as well. Any more left to get through the chicane? Gaz, what about Matt Jam now then? Oh no, Matt Jam's now behind these guys, so Matt Jam's qualifying looks like it is over. As we see Jaeger improve up to 4th, and the timer runs out, so actually others aren't going to get the lap in due to the finish timer not being very good on 7. So unfortunately, a few guys missing out on that important second lap, but Jaeger getting it in there. So we have Deering taking that pole position. Clarkey up to 2nd, so Clarkey got his 2nd lap in by the looks of it as well. Tonic in 3rd, Jaeger in 4th, Kaza 5th, Ost in 6th, Pup in 7th, Roses in 8th, Richie 9th, DTR in 10th, Gaz in 11th, Governor down in 12th. Governor would have been hoping for more from that, and in 13th, Pooptown in 14th, and Matt Jam bringing it up, not managing to get a lap in. It looked like a few people had an issue with not getting a representative lap in there. But this is a 15-minute sprint race, followed by a reverse grid, reverse track feature race. Ian happy with that P10 there. Obviously after saying he's not a huge fan of the track. So it looks like everyone's ready to get racing straight away now then. Yeah, the two Irish boys sandwiching in Clarkey there. Should be an exciting race at the top by the looks of it. Showing good pace, and Clarkey, that BMW really struggling last week. But I know he is very good at this track, and he's proved that there, putting that BMW in 2nd place. So we'll make sure we've got the replays at the ready best we can. And away we go here. Looks like everyone gets a clean start. Them Sylvia's looking very good off the line by the looks of it there. And are we going to go 2x2 into turn 1? It looks like we are. As Clarkey takes that lead coming into the braking zone. But then loses out to Tonic and drops down to 3rd come the exit. And Kaza with a great start there, looking to challenge for 3rd place. Will either of them back out here? No, Clarkey's keeping it on the... He does back out. Smart driving from Clarkey there, just gives that position up. As we see someone go off there, I'm not quite sure who that was. Let's try and find out. It was a green car. Was it Pup, maybe? No, it was an NSX. It was Roses. It's unfortunate there from Roses. And then Pooptown gets compromised a little bit there as well. So moving back to the front, Deering managing to pull away already. Kaza up into P2 now, so a fantastic start from Kaza. Moving up into P2 as Tonic with a big slide there on the exit, the chicane, and Clarkey gets the run. But he's not going to make it too wide through there. He's going to be sensible. Will anyone die first time round through the death chicane? Oh, Gaz nearly goes. Gaz does go, but it's not too bad. But he does drop back down the order now then. Oh, and Ant Smasher must have got caught up as well. Only 2 victims first time round. Very clean through the chicane. Yeah, it wasn't the start Rosies would have wanted, Ray. But this top 4's all changed order, but they're still going. Jaeger dropping down a bit away from these guys after that good qualifying. But Deering starting to pull away. Is that 3 McLarens? It is, so it's McLaren 1, 2, 3, followed by Clarkey in that BMW, and then Pup in the Aston. But the order's still very close together here as Ost is coming under pressure from Governor in that Ferrari. And Matt Jam making his way up to 10th, so a decent first lap from Matt Jam there, moving up from the back of the field up into 10th place. As Governor looking for that move, but nowhere to go at the moment. Is he going to get the run down into the hairpinners? Oh no, who was that? That was DTR, I believe. Yes, it was. But luckily he held on to that as Governor looking around the outside as Ost defends. Ost should get the better exit. And what's Matt Jam going to do now? Because Governor's probably going to back out. Yes, but he very well there, Governor, to back out of that, but not allow Matt Jam through at the same time. And they all get through, but no, Pup's hit the wall. So Pup up in a good 5th place there has hit the wall and dropped back. So we've got Jaeger moving himself back up into 5th place now then. But this front 4 has now pulled away. So this could be our fight after 2 laps. This front 4 starting to look like they're running away with it. And then we've got the 2 Germans of Jaeger and Ost battling it away for 5th place now then. But they've got Governor working his way through the field well here. Richie and Matt Jam also working his way through the field well for company as well. And Pup's still in this train, so he's dropped back, but he is still in this top 5 train really here. Yeah, Tonic absolutely flying with the other front 3 guys here as well. So these front 4 in a bit of a league of their own at the moment by the looks of it. As is Clarkey going to look for the move on the inside now then. Tonic manages to hold that one off. So Governor and Ost battling it away again. Will Governor get the move done this time? Ost has still got the inside, but it looks like Governor is ahead. So is it Ost? Yeah, Ost backs out this time. So clever from Ost there, backs out. We see sparks flying. Oh, but Governor then hits the wall. But he manages to get out of everybody's way there. So luckily no one else caught out. So Governor now down to the back of this train here. So makes a good move on Ost and follows it up with a hit on the chicane. Not what he would have wanted there, as that allows Ost to go and put pressure onto Jaeger again now. As the front 4 making light work of the chicane every time here. And we've got Deering and Kazza of the same team now, P1 and 2. So will they battle it away, or are they happy sitting there together at the moment while they've still got Tonic and Clarkey for company? Because they're not going to want to lose that 1-2 by battling and allowing Tonic and Clarkey to take advantage. But Deering does run wide, so what's going to happen now? No, Kazza backs off and tucks in. So it does look like they're working together a little bit here now to try and make sure these 2 behind can't get by. Yeah, he's doing that livery proud, is Tonic. Flying up at the front here in 3rd place, but will obviously be wanting to get by these 2 and go for the win here. So we'll watch how it's done with these 4 going through the chicane. So look at them all making light work of that, as Clarkie's just starting to drop off a little bit, but is still in that tow. So needs a couple of good corners to get back in, or a little bit of fighting. And it looks like Tonic is wanting to fight with these guys ahead now, looking to get his nose in there, and that does allow Clarkie, with much better braking, closes right up again there. So this top 4 all through. We had any more issues at the chicane? It does not look like it. Looks like everyone survived the chicane this time round. And we have got Roses putting Governor under pressure now. So will Roses look for a move on Governor coming down into turn 1? Governor does take the left-hand side of the track early, so he's got the inside line. And Roses doesn't try and hang it round the outside. So battle of the pads here, both playing on control of those two. So battle of the pads for 9th place at the moment. Hey Ken, how is it doing, mate? And Matt Jam has dropped back again a little bit, so maybe Matt Jam had a little bit of an issue somewhere. Hook looking to get right back up on the back of Richie in the same car there. So seeing if they can be the fastest Aston Martin in this one. And we still have us trying to get on the back of Jaeger, but not quite able to close up. So us now looking to finish first German, but Jaeger managing to keep that gap at roughly a second. So us not able to look for any sort of a move at the moment. We've just got about 6.5 minutes left to go in this one. As Governor just about holds on to it, but he's going to lose 2 positions there most likely. Maybe he got enough speed to hang on to 10th place, but going to be coming under serious pressure from Matt Jam into the final corner. But yes, holds on to that there. But an easy move then for Roses. So now we've got a bit of a three-way battle for 9th place going on. So let's move back to these front 4 guys. Still in a huge train here, as Deering coming under some serious pressure now from Tonic and Clarkie. And that does look like it's allowing Kazza to pull away a bit. So in terms of teams, they're probably not too bothered by that. And it was Deering leading before, so actually those 2 teammates have changed order there. And what a fastest lap that is from Tonic. For all those with the OCD, going to be loving that, a 1:44.444. So let's hope that nobody beats that lap time. Yeah, definitely crazy. Lots of aliens in this lobby, as Tonic looking round. Oh, Kazza goes deep though. So Kazza's going to be dragged right back into this fight after starting to pull away there. Just pushing for that fastest lap maybe. But that brings these 4 all right back up close together. Do they all survive the chicane again? Yes, they do. They're making light work of the chicane of these 4 at the front. As Clarkie is going to look for the move on Tonic now then. So he does get to the inside, and Clarkie's been good under braking at this corner, but does go a little bit deep that time and allows Tonic to switch back. But Clarkie does have the slipstream, and I'm presuming Deering will probably want to give Clarkie the slipstream to make sure these 2 are side by side going into turn 1. And Clarkie is going to keep the inside and does brake later. But Tonic going to try and hang it round, and Clarkie gives the space, so Tonic holds that. So that's good news for Kazza and Deering, as with those 2 battling a little bit, that has created a little bit of a gap going into the final 4 minutes of this race. So only a few laps left to go. Let's quickly check back down the field. So we've still got Jaeger and Ost battling it away. Jaeger runs wide, so Ost is going to get closer to Jaeger now. So let's see what Ost can do with a bit of a slipstream run coming down through the S's now. Can he do anything about getting close to Jaeger? Maybe want a good chicane and get the run into the final corner, most likely. Hey Arden, nice to see you, mate. Yeah, Clarky trying to disrupt those McLarens up at the front there with that BMW. Doing a great job because from last week that was lacking pace. As we've got Os flying as he's chasing Jaeger down here. Really sends it through the chicane and does get a good exit, so he's got the run on Jaeger here, but it looks like he might be too far back. But let's see, will he be able to go for the late move? No, not quite. Does close right in now then. So we've got the Germans really battling it away here for P5. As everything still looks the same up at the front. We've still got the same front four. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, none of them looking close enough to go for moves on each other at the moment. So what about Jaeger and Os now then? That's Sylvia having enough straight line speed, it looks like, to hold that McLaren from quite getting close enough to go for the move. But it does look like at this moment in time, Ost is the slightly quicker of the two drivers. After Jaeger holding that gap well, Ost has now brought it down and put in huge pressure on the penultimate lap here. There'll only be one more lap after this. So we'll keep our eye on what's going on with these front four as well. But they all look too far away to go for moves at the moment. So this looking like a good battle here for 5th place to see who can get in the top 5. So Jaeger having to partially defend. So Os closer this time round. So if Os can get a good run out the chicane like he did last time, he's a little bit closer, so he might be close enough to go for that move into the final corner. But he needs a good run through the chicane. Oh, and they both take a big lift, but again, Os gets the better run. So this is going to be Os' opportunity. Jaeger goes defensive early. Very defensive, forcing Os to the outside now then. Os going to try and hang it all the way round. Superb move from Os there. But will Jaeger get the run down into turn 1 now? As we've seen, that car is fast. What a battle we have between the two Germans for this 5th place. Will Os pick the left side or the right side of the track here? Because it looks like Jaeger's going to be close enough to go for something. No, maybe not. Maybe that McLaren does have just about enough straight line speed to match it there. Yes, Sonic, that was a great move by Ost there as we come on to the final lap. Let's just check back through the order, see if we've got any other battles going on. It does not look for it. We do have a battle right at the back, though, between Pooktown and Ant, and they are both going to get a final lap as well. So Clarky has moved up into 3rd place. So bad news there for TXM as Tonic drops down to 4th place. And Clarky trying to upset the McLarens and put a BMW on the podium here. And here we go then, final time through the chicane. And we've actually got Kaza looking to get fastest lap as well on his final lap. Let's see what he can do. Does get a good run through the chicane. Oh, Deering with a big slide, but holds it. So 1-2 should stay the same. It looks like Tonic's not close enough. What about Austin Jaeger now then as Jaeger hits the wall? So unfortunate there from Jaeger, just pushing hard. And that might lose him one more position. But let's see, as Kaza is going to cross the line, will he get the fastest lap as well? No, he doesn't manage to take fastest lap there. So Tonic drops out the podiums, but is at least going to hold that fastest lap. Os bringing it home in 5th after that superb move. And we've got a run to the line. Richie Jaeger put. Let's quickly go back and just have a look at that finish. So Putt now gets the run as these two fight it away. How close were these three here coming up to the line? Richie just gets it ahead of Jaeger, followed by Pup there. But what a run to the line from those guys. And we still have and it's Ant that gets by Pooptown on that final lap. So some fantastic racing all across the field. The front four were not separated all race, so those four coming through the field in this second race will be very interesting. Hey Moon, nice to see you, mate. Yeah, that was a very good race, that. Yeah, unfortunate end for Jaeger. Was really going for that on trying to get that position back off us, but unfortunately lost the position due to it. So we'll just go through the final positions then. So Kaza took home the win there, with Deering in second place, so bringing a lot of points for culturally inappropriate there. Clarkey sneaking that BMW up into third place, with Tonic fourth, fifth going to Ost after that brilliant move. Richie managing to nick six, so a great haul of points for culturally inappropriate, who are currently second, with their rivals at the moment being in the other lobby. Jaeger taking seventh, Pup in eighth, ninth is Roses, 10th Governor, Matt Jam 11th, Gaz in 12th, Ian 13th, Ant in 14th, and Pooptown in 15th. But some great battling all across the field there, so hopefully we get more of the same in the second race. So the second race is a feature race, so it is a 50-minute race, reverse grid and reverse layout. So we are going through the death chicane in the opposite direction now. So we'll see how everybody handles it. Yeah, Jaeger putting the Jaeger commentator's curse on himself maybe there in that race. I've got the keyboard right in front of me, Crazy. So you've got they got the keyboard shortcuts for the replay now. So oh, can I still save the replay? Oh no, you can't now. You used to be able to, but as long as the other race hadn't started, you used to be able to still save the replay even if you changed track. But it does not look like you can do that anymore either. Another one to add to the list of things you can no longer do that you used to be able to do. We can still see the results of the previous race though. So hopefully someone got it right. So Moo was cheering Hansa on, who's currently with the leading team in the other lobby, but the second place team at the moment got a good haul of points here. So obviously that team will have wanted a good result there. Who do you want me to curse then, Arden? I always try not to. That's why on this one I was, unless there's an incident that looks like multiple cars or something, I'm trying not to, or one that looks incredibly comical. I don't really want to replay people dying at the chicane, because obviously none of us really want to see ourselves dying at the chicane, but if someone does it in a comical way, we'll definitely be replaying it. They won't survive. Yeah, exactly, Arden. Unfortunately, that is the way it is. No, I'm on PS4 transmission. I don't own a PS5 like all these rich guys do. Well, say that, I spent all my money on a PC instead. Yeah, so for the replays transmission, if you have a keyboard plugged into your PlayStation, then you press Z to, like, you know, say that you want to do a replay, and then you've got X, C, and V are like 5, 10, and 15 seconds. So I always do the 15 seconds because obviously then we catch the full incident in case we're pressing it a bit late. So it replays you back the previous 15 seconds from when you press Z. So obviously it is the feature they used to have on Sport that they finally brought back into 7. Come on, Arden, you've got to give a name. Yeah, Nick, that's why I've got no money, mate. I can't afford a PS5 because I spend my money on other stuff. You know, if anyone wants to donate me a PS5, though, I'll definitely take you up on the offer. Also, for those of you that are interested, Slugsy just posted the top 12 from Lobby 2. So, Nicky taking home the win in that first race in Lobby 2, followed by King Ears and Slugsy with the exact same finish time. So King Ears just pipping Slugsy there, with them both crossing the line with the same finish time. So fantastic racing in that lobby by the looks of it as well. Baz in 4th, Bad Dog 5th, Tank in 6th, Hamza 7th, Wabbit 8th, Echo 9th, Vines 10th, Rock 11th, and Mackie 12th. Which actually will be the full order because there's one team less in that lobby. So if there is anyone watching that wants to join the league late with a team of 3, there is still space for one more team. So it looks like we had some good racing in that lobby as well. Yeah, definitely be one worth looking at the replay on. I'm presuming if they've crossed the line with the exact same time, I'm presuming King Ears was ahead and it was Slugsy that was trying to make the overtake at the line. Because I think normally that's how it judges it. Or it could be that their frames are slightly different and King Ears was a slight frame ahead of Slugsy. But either way, it would be a great finish there. Yeah, no worries, transmission. Like I said, it is a good feature they've got. You can also change to anyone you want via the number keys as well. So like if we want 9th place, we just press 9. 2, there goes 2nd place. And then Q, W, E, R, T are then like the final positions. So we can obviously just change position to wherever we want. Yeah, feel free, Ray. That'll be fine by me. I don't know what King Ears will have to say about that, but... No worries, transmission. See you later. Yeah, it definitely looks like it. It looks like that's what they were teasing the other day, Ian. So like I said, I think on that they're going to have to up the number of cars because you're only allowed 8 different... So you can have a lot of cars on track, but you can only have 8 different models of car at the moment. So obviously as they bring more cars into categories, then they're going to need to up that to allow you to use all cars. What, you can't look behind on the key? Yeah, but you just have your controller in your on your lap for that. It's easy one there, Arden. You've got to keep switching between the two. You know, people think all this commentary's just watching cars drive around the track. Much more to it than that. Yeah, well, there's rumours that the Acura will be coming at some point as well. But I also think the noise might have been a reason that they chose the was it Detroit, I believe, if I remember right from the video. It was one of the road courses anyway. And I think that was why, to make it sound a little bit better with the echoes as well. Yeah, well, as you said before, Arden, PD always miss out little things that you think, well, if they've managed to do that, then why couldn't they do this? But that's the way it is. So for those that want to know, tyre requirements for this one are 5 laps must be done on mediums. But I was saying earlier, I believe most people will just be the one stop, either mediums to softs or softs to mediums. But you never know, at this track there might be people trying something a little bit different. Tyre wear and fuel is both times, both times free, and 6 litres per second for the refueling. Yeah, everyone gonna have to be careful on the reverse grid, especially with this track where you're coming up to the chicane. At least the other way round, if you reverse grid, you've got a little bit, you've got like the full lap before you have to hit the chicane, whereas here there's only one corner, so you come into the worst part of the track in a big group still. Yeah, hopefully everyone gets through clean from a driver's point of view, but possibly from our point of view watching, some carnage will make it a bit more exciting. But here, people will probably be a lot more sensible here, because obviously the last thing you want is to have issues early on. And away we go here. Looks like everyone gets a decent start again. But I'll go through everybody's tyres once we've settled in a little bit. So we'll see how sensible people are, especially those guys at the back. Oh no, as we already see a few cars have gone there. We've got Gaz gone as well. So we'll just quickly check back on that, see exactly what happened. Oh, so Gaz just tapped Poop Town, unfortunately. So that's what causes those two to go. And now we're probably going to miss people. Oh no, everyone survived the chicane by the looks of it. So superb driving from everybody there, surviving the chicane on the first lap. Carnage was all at turn 1. We were all expecting it to be at the chicane, but it was all at turn 1. As we got Deering up to 5th place already. Kaza up to 7th. So those two guys getting a good start there and managing to make positions up early on. So let's quickly run through everyone's tyres. So we've got Matt Jam leading the way on the mediums, Rosie's on the mediums, Richie mediums, Deering mediums, Ant mediums, DTR mediums, Kaza mediums, Jaeger softs. So Jaeger needs to get through this field a little bit, being on the softs. Governor mediums, Tonic, Clarkey, Ost, Put. So looks like everybody on the mediums bar Jaeger. So Jaeger's going to be needing to make some moves through the field here, taking advantage of those soft tyres, while everybody else choosing to start on the mediums. So it looks like we've got everybody pretty much doing the same strategy here, as we've got Kaza going for the move. Oh no, that's DTR trying to get back at Kaza. Oh no, sorry, that is Kaza going for the move. It was Deering that was near DTR before, and Deering is further ahead still. So has Jaeger managed to make positions as with Clarkey and Tonic stuck in this, both on the inside? Not what they'll want coming into here. What's going to happen? Is anybody going to back off? Tonic backs off, but Governor tries to take advantage. Oh, and there is contact, and those two guys have gone. So let's quickly go back and look at exactly what happened there. So we'll go from behind Tonic. So Ant's... Yeah, Tonic decides to back off from Ant there, but Governor doesn't expect him to filter back in. Oh, and then Governor's disconnected from the room, unfortunately, there. So let's try and get back to the action as MacJam managing to pull out a nice bit of a lead here as well. Yeah, Jaeger going for something a little bit different. Got himself up into 6th place now. But as I said, everybody ahead of him still on mediums. So, oh, as DTR drops it behind, but manages to hold on. And Ant nearly does the same as well. Oh, no, but then, oh, has got damage. Must have hit the wall on that crash. So now struggling a bit. So unfortunately dropping down the order now. As we've got Culturally Inappropriate looking good at the start of this race, with Richie up in 2nd, Deering already up to 3rd, and Kaza up to 5th as well. So we'll see, yes. Oh, or maybe not. It looked like he let him by, but then he turned in on him a little bit. So I was going to say, good team driving there, but it has put Richie under pressure from Roses now then. So let's see, will anyone back out this time? Yes, Roses has backed out of that one. So, Kaza now, awkward place to go for a move as that corner tightens up, nearly catches Roses out, but luckily they both survived there. But Richie dropped back down into 4th place now, but Deering up into 2nd. Jaeger now on the back of these guys on the softer tyres, so Jaeger won't want to get caught up in these fighting. He'll want to get by them quickly as Richie runs wide and comes back across, but luckily they all survive that as well. Will Jaeger go for the move here on the softer tyres? Can brake a little bit later, but not quite able to get that done there. So Os now in a bit of no man's land in 7th. So Os could be one to watch later on as Pup's going to look to close him down. We've still got Tonic stuck down near the back and Clarkey. So that BMW, it's got the pace on its own, but that lack of top-end speed seems to really be causing Clarkey problems with managing to overtake in this longer format reverse grid race. Not quite got the straight line speed to actually get by any of these cars, even though he's probably got the lap pace on these guys down here. Yeah, look at that in the slipstream there. Clarkey's actually losing ground in the slipstream. Poop is pulling away from Clarkey there, so this is not good news for Clarkey in that BMW. Could be a long race for him, but gets a really good exit, so might finally get that move done, but it's just going to come under pressure again, I imagine. But Poop's not going to give this up, and Poop's got the inside. Yes, Poop does back out last minute. Clever driving as we see a crash up ahead there. Let's try and see who that was. It was up ahead, so was it Gaz? Was it Ant and oh, it was Ant, and then Gaz run into the back of him, unfortunately. But that's good news for Tonic, because that lets Tonic get a bit of clear air now to try and chase away, as Deering has now caught up to MacJam. So the pressure now starting to build on MacJam here. as the guys from the back have caught up. So looking at this at the moment, you would suspect Deering Kazza 1-2 again. But there's still a long way to go as Matt Jam runs wide. So is this going to be... as Kazza runs wide as well. So everyone's struggling at that corner, but this could be Deering's chance to make the move for the lead. Yeah, there, Ray's answered that for you, Ken. Yeah, so after the first round, they were second, but the team that's first is in the other lobby and also was in the other lobby to them last week as well. So hopefully we get the pleb gents and culturally inappropriate in the same lobby next week, as Deering does inherit the lead now then. Was huge lag spike there. That was not good. Hopefully that... and it's Richie. So that might be what the lag spike was for. Richie getting disconnected maybe there. So that's bad news for culturally inappropriate, as we just said how well they were doing. That's going to be a real miss of points there with that disconnection. So that's not good news. That might explain what that lag spike was there then. Yeah, that wasn't good. I thought that was people hitting a wall on the exit of the chicane. As we see a spinner, it's Ant unfortunately at the back, so he needs to get his head down now to chase after this, because we've had a good little battle going on between these guys here, Gaz, Poop, DTR and Ant, as Clarkey has got through them now then. So Clarkey, now that he's got clear air, we'll see what sort of pace that BMW can do. But as we saw, it's just not got the straight line speed to actually get the moves done, which is why Deering and Kazza now into P1 and 2. Rosie's P3. Jaeger now putting Matt Jam under pressure, but Jaeger on the softer tyres here. So for Matt Jam, he probably doesn't want to fight Jaeger, but he might not know that Jaeger is on the soft tyres. But yeah, they actually might do, because it didn't look like he put up much of a fight there. He seemed to just let him by. So clever driving there from Matt Jam by the looks of it. Going to try and use Jaeger's softer tyres to allow him to get slipstream and hang on to this front three. But this Jaeger doing well at the moment, but could come into trouble in the second stint if he's having to put those medium tyres on when everyone else will most likely be going on to those softer tyres. So moving back down through the order, then we've still got Austin Pup in no man's land. Tonic trying to chase them down. And Clarkey now in that free air as well, doing the same. So we'll keep an eye on Tonic and Clarkey to see whether they can close those guys down. As Gaz has pulled away. So something must have happened between Ian and Pooptown here, as Ant's now in between them and close to him, and Gaz has pulled away. So there must have been an incident through the chicane maybe with those guys. As Rosie's gets the move done on Kazza there. So Rosie's moving up into P2, so a good drive from Rosie's so far after the first 10 minutes of this 50-minute race. So here we go. Kazza going to look for the move back now, but he's going to be on the outside, but we'll probably have the straight line speed. And as I say that, gets the move done. As I said, probably will have the straight line speed to get it done before the corner. And he gets it done before I even managed to say it. But goes a little bit deep. Will that allow Rosie's back on the inside? Not by the looks of it. So Rosie's going to have to settle in. But Jaeger now right there. But this is good news for Deering again, as Kazza battles away with Rosie's. This allows Deering to pull away. All through the chicane. Rosie's slight tap on the wall, but nothing major, gets away with it. But Jaeger now putting these guys under pressure as well. And Matt Jam struggling to hang on to the pace at the front of the field here. But doing a fantastic job so far. Might be able to come back into it later on those softer tyres. as we see Jaeger looking for the move on Roses now, which is good news for Kaza. So Kaza managing to pull away. So with a disconnect for that team, a 1-2 would go a long way to making up for the points lost from the disconnection. Hey Steve, nice to see you, mate. Hey Gaz as well, nice to see you. Always Roses all over the curve, does well to hang on to that. But all this just allowing David and Kaza to pull away. And we'll see later on whether David and Kaza end up close together again and end up battling. And if they're far enough ahead, I presume they'll happily battle each other because they'll want to both take the win. So it'll be an interesting one to see later on in the race. So here comes Jaeger then, all over the back of Roses now. On the softer tyre as well. Roses goes defensive though. So Rosie's not wanting to give up this position, maybe not realising, and look at the grip difference, the cut back there for Jaeger, had the grip to cut back round. But one of them's going to have to back out. Let's see who's brave enough to hang it in, who's going to back out. Jaeger does back out, Jaeger playing it safe, backs out of that. But they're both losing time here. This is good news for Matt Jam as well. Because Matt Jam probably not too worried about Jaeger at the moment, but will be thinking he can battle with Roses for the podium. Because obviously Jaeger will probably be putting on the harder tyre. So it was a disconnect for Richie by the looks of it, which is what we thought from that lag spike. So very unfortunate there. So let's move back towards the back of the field and see what's going on. So Pooptown dropped away from Ant and Ian now then. But Ant and Ian having a right little battle here. Let's stay on board with these two for a little while. See whether Ant can look to get a move done. And see whether Ian's teammate can close up to help him out here. Oh, a big slide from Ian, or was that lag? Maybe that was just lag. But for those that don't know, medium tyres must be used for at least 5 laps. And that has happened for everybody apart from Jaeger. Because everybody bar Jaeger started on the medium tyres. So everybody has fulfilled the tyre requirements apart from Jaeger. So Ant and Ian battling it out, but Ant just drops off a little bit. Gaz now in a little bit of no man's land, but the guys behind have closed up a bit. So maybe Gaz has had an issue. Yeah, a 156 lap there. So Gaz has had an issue recently. Clarky pulling away, but struggling to keep up with Tonic's pace in clear air. But Tonic now up onto the back of Pup. So Tonic will be looking to... Oh, and was that Ost? It was Ost into the wall, all on his own in no man's land. Luckily, Tonic and Pup get by, no issues, and that gets Tonic back. So a 2 for 1 basically there for Tonic, making his life very easy now then. So now he can go and chase after that top 5 or possibly podium position, but struggled to get through the field as easily as Kaza and Davin have. The same can be said for Clarky, who now will be able to see Os though, so we'll see whether Os being in his sights will help Clarky get his head down and chase after him. The problem is, I don't know how easily Clarky will be able to pass Os, as we've seen he really struggled with straight line speed to get by anyone in this reverse grid. So Tonic now with... Oh, Pup retaliate. Wow, what a move that was from Pup. Absolutely taking Tonic by surprise. But unfortunately, a little bit too late. Tonic not too happy with that. Was a late move. But I do think it was a fair move from what we could see. Tonic give the space and Pup took him by surprise. But looks like Pup didn't quite manage to then hold it onto the track. And Tonic got that move back. But maybe it was just a accidental outbreak by Putt, but I thought it was a very good move that, but good driving from Tonic to see it coming as well. Yeah, he's in lobby 2 as Ray says there, Steve. So Matt now dropping away from those front guys, out on his own a little bit now. Maybe starting to struggle as those medium tyres wear. But we'll probably want to take them at least halfway by the looks of the tyre wear to make sure that the softs will go all the way to the end. As we see the softs on Jaeger, the softs on Jaeger look like they'll last halfway, and I know that Sylvia's one of the worst cars for tyre wear, I believe. So if that's the case, then I imagine the 30-minute mark is probably going to be the pit window for people to come onto the soft tyres to get as long on those soft tyres as they can. But the halfway point should be easy enough for most cars by the looks of it. So Jaeger not quite managing to do anything on Rose's. So Jaeger's strategy of starting on the soft tyres not really paying off at the moment, and could be a bit of a sitting duck in the second stint. Kaza has caught up to Deering now, and Rosie's doing a pretty decent job to hang on to these two as well. They're not really pulling away from him at all. And it does look like, even though the teammates, they are starting to battle a little bit, but Deering has to back out of that one and let his teammate ahead. Kaza, winner of the first race, so showing his pace now. So we'll see whether he can pull away from Deering now that he has taken that lead. Both similar on fuel and everything. So Kaz already looking like he's starting to pull away from Deering a little bit. Maybe with the tyres wearing, Kaz are a little bit better at handling these slightly worn tyres than Deering is, possibly. But this has allowed Rosie's to close back up to these two a little bit. So we'll see if Rosie's can get back in the fight. But Rosie's in a great position to get a podium out of this race. Jaeger probably going to have to come in soon, but should get a few more laps out of those soft tyres. But I don't know what the pace is like now, because he does look like he's no longer lapping faster than these medium guys. He's now on the same sort of pace. And Matt Jam dropping away as well. But so Tonic now will look to close down. So Rosie's, that'll be Rosie's main threat, I think, possibly for that final podium position, because we saw the pace Tonic had, and look at that. I said 30 minutes will be the pit window, and Tonic is the first one to come into the pits. So Tonic going to do 30 minutes on the soft tyres, try and get the most out of them as he can. Everybody else staying out. I know Clarkey struggled a bit with tyre wear in that BMW in the last round as well, so he might have to go a bit further. But I don't think the McLarens had much issues with tyre wear, hence Tonic choosing to pit. He'll just be hoping he gets some nice clear air and doesn't get held up. Though, let's see where's he going to come out of the pits now then. Ooh. Side by side with Ant smashing, not what he would have wanted. But let's see, Ant would be clever to give this up, as he knows Tonic's a pit stop ahead of him here. But no, Ant's going to hold on to that position. So this is not what Tonic wanted. He needed to be ahead of Ant, but Ant hits the wall. So Tonic gets by easily, but will have lost a bit of time during that pit stop phase there. And put a full tank in by the looks of it. Oh, and Ant's now got damage, so that's not good for Ant there. Maybe would have been better letting Tonic go after the first turn, knowing that he'd just come out the pits on fresh tyres. And Ian has dropped away at the back now, unfortunately, so hopefully when he gets the soft tyres on, he can keep it clean and maybe capitalise on any mistakes that anybody makes. But we do have Kazza pulling away at the front now then. So these guys, it's a little bit different for them. So maybe these are wanting to make sure the softs will last now that they've got the lead. Whereas Tonic, obviously worth risking a bit more. With obviously having to close up to these guys. So Tonic will want those extra laps if he can on those soft tyres. Sparks flying off the walls there. As Matcham now in that no man's land. But it does look like Tonic is still the only one to have come into the pits. So this is good news for Tonic. It's getting him extra laps on the faster compound. So I expect on this lap to see Tonic setting a new fastest lap now. But it is a full tank of fuel though. But the field getting fairly spread out now, to be honest. Closest battle is probably this, Deering, Roses and Jaeger, P2, 3 and 4 at the moment. As we do have someone in the pits, it's DTR cars coming into the pits from the back of the field there then. So Clarkey struggling to close up to Ost here. Maybe he'll have a better shout once the softer compounds come on. Yeah, I think he's still streamed a couple of times, Steve. I'm not sure. You'll have to nip over onto his channel to find out. I'm sure he did ACC lobbies the other day. Might even have been today or yesterday. Definitely recently anyway. So Tonic now still got a nice gap to Gaz. So Tonic will be hoping that all these guys in front pit before he catches them now. So that he doesn't lose any more time and can just have clean laps on his own. Yeah, Ian is struggling a little bit, unfortunately. I think Ian, from what I've seen with doing the commentary, he can be fast, but he seems to have to push, and then obviously it's that having to push that means he makes mistakes, which is a little bit awkward, but sometimes you then try and not push, and then you make more mistakes because you maybe lose a bit of concentration, so it's always an awkward balancing act there. But hopefully he can fare a bit better on the softer tyres. There's still nobody else pitting yet. But Poop now getting close to Ant, so we've still got a battle on for transmission there. And obviously the major battle is... Oh yeah, I thought Tonic had disappeared then. I couldn't find his name, so Tonic's still on the battle, but he'll want these guys to pit now, which I think they will. Halfway point of the race, the soft tyres should last halfway because Jaeger's soft tyres have lasted exactly halfway, and he's got in one of the highest tyre wear cars, I believe. So if his tyres have lasted, everyone else's should, but they're all still choosing to stay out. And strange from Deering to stay out because he's now coming under pressure from Roses. So Deering is struggling on those worn medium tyres, yet hasn't pitted for the softs yet. So strange decision there, I think. I can understand Kazza staying out while he's still building a gap, while he's still got the pace to get those fastest possible soft tyres on later. But Tonic's still not managing to beat Kazza's fastest lap here, so it's not going to help him gain on the front, and Gaz is staying out, so that's bad news for Tonic here. And still doesn't set a new fastest lap. So maybe it's the fuel load, as we see Poop coming into the pits now then. Ant stays out though. So I am quite surprised that that most drivers are still out. Jaeger obviously came in because of his tyre wear being on those softs. Yeah, we've had a bit of a gap in the RA streams, Steve, with events having a gap off, so we just had the odd couple of one-offs, but we did have a little bit of a rest as well. So we did have like a 2-week gap, I think, or maybe 3, with no streams, so that might explain why you hadn't seen many on the RA channel. But we should be back up and running with more commentary streams again now. As Kaza Roses, there's no way the fuel's going to go to the end, is there? Because Tonic put a full tank, unless Tonic made a huge mistake putting a full tank in when he come in. Maybe put way more fuel in than he needed. Yeah, I'm very surprised, Crazy, that none of these guys have pitted yet. Like, very, very surprised. Like I said, I'd have been looking at that 30-minute mark, maybe doing one extra lap just to make sure your softs go to the end. But I think Tonic pitted at the right point, but he possibly put... Let's see his fuel compared to Jaeger. So Jaeger just under 3/4, and that is a high fuel car. So no, Tonic fuel about right, maybe a little bit too much, but maybe put it in full to play it safe. So there's no way these guys are going to be able to go all the way to the end on mediums because of the fuel. So I am very surprised that they haven't come in. But Tonic only just getting by Gaz, so he got stuck behind Gaz for a full lap there. So the pitting early that looked like the right decision for Tonic's not working out because nobody else is pitting. So Tonic's strategy is not helping out with the other guys not choosing to pit yet. No worries, Crazy. See you later. So let's see. Is Kaza going to finally come into the pits now? No. And Roses doesn't. And it. This is highly confusing to me. Let's see what Mac Jam does. Yes, Mac Jam's coming in. So I can't understand why those front 3 guys, especially Roses and Deering, while they're battling away, why has one of Roses and Deering not come and put the softer tyres on? Pup now coming in. Oss staying out as well. So these guys will have practiced. Clarkie's staying out. So maybe they think the tyre wear at this track's just way too high on the soft tyres, maybe. But this is very confusing to me as obviously not done any practice for this, so I don't know what the actual tyre wear is like for these guys, but I'm just going off what I see, and I would have expected there not to be a single person that hadn't pitted yet, to be honest. I'm very surprised that we still have people out on the track that are yet to pit. And even more surprised that Deering and Roses haven't, because these guys have been battling away for a few laps now. So surely the undercut would have definitely been on the cards for one of these two to get out of this battle. But instead, they're battling away and allowing Kaza to just pull a gap out in front. I think they've all got to come in this lap or the next, just because the fuel's getting low now on most of them. But I'm just shocked with the tyres, like why they're taking the mediums so long. And Kaza's just going to shock me more by carrying on still. Maybe I can maybe understand Kaza doing it, because maybe Kaza knows he's got enough of a lead. As Deering stays out as well and Roses comes in. So I can see Kaza doing it just for fastest lap. By pitting later onto the softs, he'll have better soft tyres with a lower fuel load. So I can maybe understand it from Kaza's point of view in the lead, because he knows he's got the gap to stay out and obviously try and guarantee that fastest lap as well as the win. But I'm very shocked that, see, like, look at that. Roses was a couple of seconds ahead of Jaeger and is now a couple of seconds behind. So, but obviously we'll get Jaeger back with being on those softer tyres, I imagine. Yeah, Rosie's pitted because Rosie's was the only one to start on the softs, Steve. So Jaeger was the only one to start on the softs. So Jaeger had already pitted, and Rosie's was just coming in. But when Jaeger pitted, Rosie's was just behind, well, just ahead of Jaeger by a second or two. And obviously he's now 2 seconds behind. So obviously Kaza and Daring definitely going to have to come in this lap just because of fuel. But said, I'm highly surprised that these two guys haven't pitted yet. Tonic's the one to watch to see where he is, but it's quite a way behind Roses because of other people not pitting. He has got caught up in traffic, so everybody else going long has not helped Tonic with what I would have guessed to be the optimal strategy, but clearly I'm mistaken because these guys will have practiced. Yeah, but Steve, Roses and Daring were both quicker anyway, so they had to me, they were both battling each other for second place, not for, they were battling, they weren't sitting one behind the other, they kept changing positions, so they were actually battling, and as you see, Daring keeps hold of that position, but he drops behind Jaeger as well, and he was about 4 seconds ahead of Jaeger when Jaeger pitted, so I said staying out on them mediums hasn't helped these guys, but I mean, it's helped Kaza, because Kaza should have the win easy now without any mistakes. I can't see anyone taking the win off Kaza, and you would expect Kaza to go on in these final 15 minutes and get the fastest lap as well. But as I said, maybe they just didn't think the tyres could last or what. But as I said, Jaeger got 25 minutes out of the softs on the Sylvia, which is quite high on tyre wear compared to the other cars. So I'm very surprised that these guys didn't do. And as I said, look, Jaeger's going to defend for his life now because, yes, he's on the harder tyres, but he's got nothing to lose now. He loses these positions, he's lost the podium, he ain't going to get back by, but they do get round him quite easily with those fresh soft tyres. Yeah, I know. No, it depends on. I'm just surprised, Ray, because as I said, I'm sure all these other cars have got better tyre wear than that Sylvia did. I sort of get it from Kaza's point of view, maybe, but as I said, Daring and Roses, if I was one of them, I would have come in earlier, especially with the way they were battling, just to try and get the undercut on the other car and try and create a bit of a gap. But as you said, they're now still battling away, so it's good news for Kaza because it gets him a nice, easy win. And is it possibly good news for Tonic? Because if Tonic can manage to put the laps together, but he does seem to be struggling, but he has now got clear air. If these two battle away, will that allow Tonic to obviously close up to them? It could possibly. But the Sylvia's good on I thought the Sylvia was one of the worst cars on tyres from the from last week. I thought last week the Sylvia's tyres died way before anybody else's. I know Clarkey, I got Clarkey staying out because I know that BMW tyre wear last week didn't look very good either. But I thought it was the BMW and the Sylvia looked like they had much worse tyre wear than everybody else. Well, maybe I'm just mistaken on that. Maybe the tyres are worse on the other cars. But we'll find that from Tonic because Tonic... See, look, Tonic's been on these tyres for over 15 minutes now and he's still got 3/4 left. So, as I said, he's been on these tyres for 15 minutes. So all these guys that have only just pitted are only going to be using about 1/4 of the soft tyres by the looks of it. So our main battle still, though, is between Roses and Daring. But it does look like Deering's managed to pull away a little bit, so Roses needs a good couple of corners or a mistake from Deering to get back on the back of him. But other than that, it looks like we've got a couple of chase down situations where there's people looking to chase people down or smallish gaps, but this is probably the tightest battle we've got. And actually, if anything, Jaeger's actually coming back to put Roses under pressure. So a poor lap and a bit from Roses maybe there. But said going to look to put a few good corners together and get right back up on the back of Deering to start battling again. And it looks like he is starting to do that actually as we say that. But as I said, even though it wasn't the strategy I expected, those guys going longer on the mediums, it still worked out because they all did it. No one's Tonic, sorry, was the only one that really could benefit from that early pit stop, but he didn't benefit because of no one else doing it. He needed others to do it so that he could benefit, but because the others stayed out further down the field, he got caught up in the mid-pack after that early pit stop. So the fact that so many have done it makes me think that it is the better strategy because these guys will have practiced. Yeah, Arden Jaeger will just be wanting the two in front to fight and see whether he can hang in there. But Jaeger's problem could possibly be Tonic behind, but because 9 seconds. The only thing is Tonic's never really got into the rhythm since putting those soft tyres on like he was in the first race. Because he's doing 47 O's and Kaza was doing 47 O's on mediums, and look, 46 O's now for Kaza. So, but what's Jaeger doing? 47.4 he can do. So mid to high 47. So at this pace, Jaeger should be clear of Tonic. But there's still a possibility that Tonic can chase down Jaeger for that 4th place. Matt Jam doing similar pace to Tonic, so if Jaeger starts to struggle on them mediums, then there's possibly he's possibly got a battle on for the final lap with Tonic and Matt Jam maybe. But then as we move back through the order, we've got Clarkey now ahead of Ost. So Ost will be trying to get on the back of Clarkey if he can, because we've seen that BMW is a sitting duck on the straights if you can get close enough to it. So if Ost can get up onto the back of Clarkey, you would expect him to be able to get the move done. Gaz now in no man's land, pooping a little bit of no man's land, but Ant looking to chase down. And then DTR unfortunately has had a bit of a nightmare. But Kaza here just running away with this one now, no stopping him. I expect the hardest thing for Kaza now will just be improving his fastest lap each lap. That'll be his hardest challenge till the end of this race, I imagine. Rose is still... So I think this is our main fight we want to stick with, because Rose is not going away from Deering here. He's still trying to close back up. And that gap is coming down, but only slightly. So it's only one small mistake from Deering, and these two will be right on the back of each other again. So in the final 9 minutes of this race, the P2 and P3 fight is still well and truly on here. As Roses does look a little bit better through the chicane, because he caught up through the chicane in the last lap as well, and has done the same again. And now should be getting a bit of a better toe off Deering as he gets closer. But Deering maybe a little bit better out the exit of that hairpin by the looks of it. McLaren versus NSX. And Deering will be wanting that 2nd place just to make it a 1-2 again. But had to do a big lift there by the looks of it. So that's allowed Roses closing back in again. So I do think this is our main fight going on now then. But everybody keep their eyes. If you see anything further down the field, look like arrows are closing up, let me know and we can go back. Oh, as David runs wide, big mistake. So Rosie should get the run now to go for something. I highly doubt it, Arden, because he's not even used a quarter of the tyres yet and there's only 8 minutes left to go. And he pitted about 15 minutes, so he's already been on the tyres for about 8 minutes. So, like I said, I think unless at this track, when the soft tyres start to wear, unless you do lose a lot of pace on them, maybe, is the only thing I can think. But normally on this game now, you can take the tyres pretty much to the red zone before you start to lose significant lap time. Oh, but Rosie's clipped the wall, I think, there. It didn't look like he actually touched it, but he slowed right down, so he clearly did. See, look, these guys, all the tyre wear, he's no issues whatsoever. But like I said, I wonder if, when they've practiced, maybe once you've got half-worn tyres, maybe on the softs, the pace just drops and it's a handful through the depth chicane, maybe. That's the only reason I can think is just the handling through the depth chicane, which it'd be a very good reason to obviously put the softs on later if once they wear the harder than worn mediums through the depth chicane, because that's where your race can be lost. Tonic now 6 seconds, 6 minutes left. So he is on target here, Tonic, to basically be right on the bumper of Jaeger coming onto the final lap. So we could have an interesting battle for 4th place. Matt Jam, without a mistake from Jaeger's, not going to be close enough to catch him. Pup looks stuck in a little bit of no man's land there. Seeing Pup come in a lot earlier than others, and I thought that was a higher tyre wear car, the Aston Martin. And as I said, he's now obviously starting to run those tyres down. See, and look, that BMW I said was struggling, so I get why Clarkey stayed out, because his tyres looked worse than those that pitted around the same time as him. And Ost is getting on the back of him now then, so Ost could possibly be getting up into 8th place at Clarkey's expense if he can hang on to Clarkey, because we do know that the this was that DTR being lapped, maybe accidentally getting in the way of Kaza there, but obviously no effect to Kaza, as Deering now pulling. So Rosie's not quite close enough by the looks of it, and Tonic not quite. He needs a really good lap himself, or a poor lap from Jaeger, I think, here, Tonic, to stand any chance of getting that 4th place now. So our main battle now then is actually for 8th, as the gap has opened up between 2nd and 3rd with that slight tap of the wall from Roses. Oh. Oh, there's a big slide there from Clarkey in the BMW. And Ost ended up offline as well, maybe got a bit distracted there. So that's good news for Clarkey. Ost can't go for him on this lap. So maybe these guys don't want us to see an overtake, because while we were on with Roses, he clipped the wall and dropped, and Roses has dropped right back now. So maybe it is a case of the soft tyres at this track just lose time quicker than they do at other tracks, possibly. So that gap between Tonic now. No, but Tonic's keeping his pace up to what it was when he first put them on. I know obviously the fuel load being a lot lower, but Tonic's obviously not losing pace on the soft tyres. And they're easily going to get him to the end, and he come in after 20 minutes exactly. But as I said, I wonder if the car's just a bit more of a handful on worn softs through the chicane than it is on worn mediums, maybe, when they've been practicing. Because Tonic in this second race has just struggled a bit for outright pace on those guys up ahead. But Kaza just having it nice and easy all to himself at the front here. Once he took that lead and opened up a gap, he's never really look like he's not going to win this race and that he's not going to get fastest lap. So, said without a major issue now, obviously fastest lap should be easy in the bag. And see, I think Deering's just picked up the pace now that he's not got Roses on his bumper. That small mistake from Roses was enough for Deering to get the move on and not feel the pressure and just start lapping. Because it looks like Deering now is going to put his fastest lap in. Let's go down then. Oh, so Tonic's made a mistake there on this lap because Tonic's dropped right off Jaeger and Matt Jam's closed right back up to Tonic. So Tonic's possible 4th place, I think, has gone now. So let's quickly see. Clarkey and Ost. Ost has dropped off now. So Ost now struggling to keep up with Clarkey's pace. Maybe was going for it all himself. So it looks like now we are sort of done. So maybe let's go on board with Kaza for the final lap. Because by the time he gets around, it should be his final lap. Because it doesn't look like we're going to have any late battles tonight, unfortunately. We had a few battles that looked like they were hotting up, but they've all sort of gone a bit stale in the last lap or two. So without any mistakes, we should have order as is. But I believe most people should, obviously except those that have been lapped, most people should be getting round to a final lap, should they? Maybe not all, actually. But I feel like the majority of the field is going to get one more final lap. So there is a chance, if there is still any battling or any mistakes for moves to be made, as Kaza comes on to the final lap now with that 17-second lead. And then we've got Deering with a 4.5-second lead over Roses now. Oh, but here we go. It's hotting up between Roses and Jaeger. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe the soft tyres just, even though they don't wear that fast, maybe they just don't feel good once they start to wear in some cars. Because it looks like Jaeger's coming back into the fight on this final lap with Roses, as Roses has struggled. But is Roses maybe... No, Roses shouldn't be fuel saving. He's got slightly more than Jaeger, so fuel shouldn't be the issue. So let's see now then. Oh, as Jaeger hits the wall though, that's not going to be good. Pushing that bit too hard maybe. As DTR gets out the way there of these guys. Doesn't want to influence their battle at all. But it looks like Roses has done enough through the chicane there. We said he was good through the chicane. And it looks like he's done enough through that chicane to pull that gap out. But actually, it looks like maybe the laps are showing wrong. I'm not quite sure there. But it looks like maybe Roses and Deering just had mistakes on those last laps, which is why that gap opened up. I know they were lapping DTR on that lap, so that could have been the cause. So here we go now then. Kaza gonna take the win and the fastest lap by the looks of it. I can't see it being beaten. Yeah, possibly Arden. Maybe he was just toying with him. Yeah, Gaz just coming to the end of the race now there as we see Kaza take the win. Deering going to bring it home in 2nd place, followed by Roses in 3rd and Jaeger in 4th. So Jaeger's strategy has worked out quite well, but he did longer on the softs than others. So Jaeger's actually done a good job there. I thought he'd get caught. Tonic, after struggling getting through the pack, up to a 5th, so not bad result in the end. Matt Jam with a great 6th place there. Pup 7th. Clarkey going to hold off Os for 8th. Austin 9th. Gaz got 10th. Poop 11th and 12th. And DTR in 13th. So some fantastic racing there. A shame that those couple of battles that looked like they were hotting up died for those final couple of laps, but that's racing for you sometimes. So just get that replay saved just in case there's any incidents there. But we'll just go through that order one more time for those that missed it. So we got Kazo taking the win and the fastest lap there. So coming through from the back of the field for the win there. Deering taking second place, and rounding off the podium is Roses after a fantastic drive in that NSX in third. Then we have his teammate Jaeger in fourth, Tonic in fifth, sixth is Matt Jam, seventh Pup, Clarkey in eighth, Ost in ninth, 10th we've got Gorilla Gaz, Pooptown in 11th, Ant Smasher 12th, DTR 13th, and unfortunately disconnections for Governor in 14th and Richie in 15th. So very unfortunate for those two guys there. As we did see for the Richie one, we saw the lag spike in the lobby. So well done to everyone there that raced in that. Never an easy track that, but always exciting. And I think, to be fair, we didn't have many issues in either race through the chicane of death. So well done to everyone for that. But obviously tune in next week for round 3, which will be at, where is round 3 at? Give me a second. Round 3 will be at Lago Maggiore. So another interesting one there. And again, same normal layout followed by reverse layout. So definitely tune into that. Cheers, Tonic. Well done in that. Shame you couldn't maybe catch up towards the end. Could have had a good battle on at the end. But right, I'm going to leave it there. So I'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.